Hello and welcome to the Barrel Roll Newscast for October 26th, 2019. Today we're talking Bethesda and all of their wise choices, Marvel TV updates, and Jared Leto, because everybody always talks about Jared Leto. Stay tuned!
Hi.
Welcome to the Barrel Roll Newscast. It is still October 26th, 2019. We did not travel into our, the future or back into the past at any point.
Don't let out our secrets, man.
Oh, sorry. This is live. We should have a little thing in the bottom corner.
That would really confuse people who watch the thing after.
Yeah.
It'll always be live.
Always
live.
Constantly. I just leave this camera on all the time.
And we just do the same show.
Right outside my bathroom
I don't think you want to see
where I shower. Then we'll get the views. And get kicked off of Twitch.
Pretty much.
Hey, Tony.
Hi, Tony.
All right. So, starting things off today, Bethesda announced, because, everybody's playing Fallout 76.
Oh my gosh.
One of the biggest asks, though, is that people wanted private servers. So, like on Conan,
Like dedicated
you
servers?
can buy a dedicated server.
Yeah, that's Bethesda too.
No, it's not.
No?
No.
Okay.
That's their own thing. But, you can buy dedicated servers. So, certain games which involve world building, you can buy dedicated servers so that, for instance, Brian could play without me. Or you could play without me, and we could come back, and all of a sudden there could be a giant penis building. And they're like, oh, okay.
Tear it down.
Yeah, tear it down, so when Brian logs back in, he's like, where's my giant penis building?
Love how it's assumed it's me that built it.
So either way, you can persistently have the server going, so not one of us has to be online. We lose that rubber banding effect, you can go anywhere on the map because you're playing on a server.
Which would kind of be.
Which would be nice, but it costs money to run these servers.
Yeah.
So either way, one of the biggest requests out of the 6 people who are still playing Fallout 76 is they want private servers.
Yeah.
Well, now you can pay Bethesda $100 a year US for a private server, and every month they'll also give you in-game digital currency to buy their microtransaction-y type stuff with.
Ooh.
That's not on top of the game.
That's not on top of buying the game, which is still $80 in most places.
If I started this game
Yes.
right now,
Yes.
I have to pay $180.
Well, no.
No, you don't
have to pay 80.
subscribe.
Yeah.
To
But
buy
let's
the
say
game.
if I do want my own
If you want your own server away from everybody else, yes.
$180.
I thought they said you could only play single player on that.
You can play. So that's the piece: is you can play single player and people can join your game, but if we wanted to continue, you have to be online.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, which is not
and then there's
bad.
that tethering thing too.
And then there's also going to be that tethering piece where we can't all, separate from each other and go build something. A dedicated server essentially would allow him to build a settlement, you to build a settlement, me to build a settlement, then nuke each other.
Go to war
with each other, and then restart the whole server, and then we could play together and do the actual story, which I'm assuming there is.
Sure.
I'm going to assume, because it's a video game, that there is a story.
I don't want to touch that game.
Right, no one does. So this is just another thing where it's
maybe that's why it's $100 because
it
costs $600 to get the server
$100 a
going.
year and $13 a month.
Or $13.
Yeah, which
now,
is more than any other subscription service out there.
Well, and so the other piece is too. The nice part is it's up to you and 7 friends, because it's a shared server. So again,
if
it's the 3 of us playing,
yeah,
we cut that cost into
30.
If it's all 4 of us, it's $25 a year for that.
Right.
Service.
Still not enough. There's still
not for that game.
No, yeah.
Too much. I mean.
If there were other games, The Forest would be one where it kind of would have been nice to have a dedicated server. Cause, you could build and then, your friend could come back and be like, we turned our house into a giant penis. Because, again, there's nothing...
Maybe
it was me this time in The Forest. But like there's because really, and that's or Minecraft is another one where
Oh,
you can have a
yes,
dedicated
yes.
server. So again,
Yeah.
I don't have to be online for you to build again because
Yeah.
there's nothing else to do in these games but build giant penis. Because I did when I did have a Minecraft server, like we ran one, and I know I played with Graham.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Graham did, was build a giant gold penis on the top of it.
And you tore it down.
No, I dug my way down and then up
Yeah.
into it. And then because it was his house, he had actually built rooms into this thing. And he came back to the house while I was planting TNT
Oh.
inside of it, and I'm like, because I was going to slowly build a fuse all the way down the hole so I could just, like, all of a sudden he'd be looking at his building and it would just go
Boom.
And he came home too soon, and I'm like, pickaxe the dynamite, so it just blew us all up.
That's awesome.
And that's, so really the only reason for dedicated servers is so you can do your own
Yeah.
stuff and have your own fun without, someone being
Yeah.
persistently online and leaving their stuff online. But this game is still not worth it.
No.
Well, and you get back catalog too, don't you?
What?
With the Bethesda subscription?
I don't think so. This is
No?
legit for that. It's only for 76.
Makes it so much worse.
So,
If you back catalog your games, I think it would entice people more.
at least let me play 4.
4, 3.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah,
back.
Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go back.
Sure.
Play those other games.
But then you won't pay
Any
for it.
Bethesda game.
But then you won't pay for it. Doom? Well, Doom sort of. They're part of the Doom thing.
Yeah.
Part of it.
They've done other games. I can't think of them.
No. Skyrim.
Yes, give me Skyrim.
But then how are you going to buy Skyrim again? Falloutfirst.com. Someone set up that website before Bethesda. Someone set up that website before. Okay. I'm clicking on it. This better not be porn.
Do you read the tab?
Yeah. Oh, because that's what it's called. Fallout First, yeah. First member.
I'd be very curious as to if anybody actually buys this stuff.
I think there's gonna be.
I think there's that dedicated group of people playing
who
this
will.
game.
The 3
that will-
people?
Yeah, like
They're
I
still
say.
playing this game?
Yeah, like
the top people in this.
the
Yeah.
only people still playing this are the ones that are gonna buy it.
Not a very smart move. Because really, the EA access, cheap.
Xbox Live.
Xbox Live
The
Game
PlayStation,
Pass.
they say the PlayStation monthly, if you calculate that out, cheaper.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Xbox, Nintendo.
Sure.
Sure.
Everyone has cheaper and more stuff.
So the tinfoil hat theory is that Doom Eternal was pushed to 2020.
Weird.
I laughed at their response to no income till then. They'll have $100 from somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone give them $100.
Well, because again, those 6 people only have to give them $100 because there's only six
of them. Yeah.
$600.
No,
Oh,
they
100,
100 because all of them can share that
That's
one
true.
dedicated server. If they all play together, which I'm assuming they
Well,
do.
then that one server is really gonna be like.
I don't know why they need a
going there.
dedicated server because they're the only people still. They really have their own dedicated server. It's the only one that people are playing on.
I'd be curious of stats. How many people are actually still on?
It'd be interesting to see. And
Yeah.
again, dedicated servers allow you to do way more modding, which is kind of fun. Like
Yeah.
you can change again in Conan, you can change like Conan the Barbarian game, you can change the thing so it's like everything instant build, or there's like no
Yeah.
cost to this, or you do 8,000 damage, so like every time you hit a crocodile, they fly off the screen. But so it depends on how you want to build.
Yeah.
So you literally could build a server that was like, okay guys, on the server this week, we're going to, again, if it's us, we can be like, we're doing war games, so it's going to cost you almost no money to build your base, but after a certain time, bases are going to be like able to be destroyed. So
Yeah.
essentially it's like
Yeah.
you have 2 days to build your base, stock up on stuff, because on Thursday, we going cray-cray and blowing everything up. You know?
Nick with TNT.
Yeah. I do. Where's Nick's base? He hasn't built anything. There's just a giant like trench hole running somewhere through the ground. Come back into your house, there's all these explosive barrels, and it's like,
Take
tink.
Done.
for whatever reason, whoever's base I decided to blow up the other person's like, does that mean I win? Like,
We rule the world.
yeah. Nick has no base. It doesn't really. He just chaos again.
Just
That's fine.
chaos.
Overall chaos.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know who's paying for this. I don't know who's gonna buy this. I don't know why you would be.
I don't know who designed this business plan.
But again, this is one of those things where online entertainment throws me for a loop because it's like when The Matrix Online came out, and I was talking to one of my coworkers about this the other day, because we were talking actually about this, and he's like, "Is anybody?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I honestly don't know." And he goes, like, who's going to pay for this? And I'm like, I don't know. And I'm like, but the same thing when The Matrix Online hit ages ago, which was when World of Warcraft was first launching, like, all of those games, Guild Wars was coming out.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
The start of MMOs.
Yeah.
And people were like, the people making The Matrix Online were like, people are going to pay cover charges to get into online bars so they can hang out with their friends in online bars and drink online drinks that are going to cost them real money that they're going to spend.
Yeah.
Because that's the future, man. Like, we're all going to be living in the Matrix. And I'm like, no. That's not. And again, like, World of Warcraft was either out or coming out, and I'm like, no, because I'm going to, if I'm going to live in a world, I'm going to live in it, but it should have its own currency.
Yeah.
And the only reason I'm paying a subscription fee is to keep those servers running.
Yes.
Which, again, I get why this costs money. If you want a dedicated server, it's going to cost you cash.
Yeah.
I get that. But at the same time, like, again, I pay World of Warcraft for the server upkeep.
Yeah.
I'm going to pay these guys for the server upkeep, but by God, it's got to be a good base game around me wanting to pay for that server.
And it's not.
And it's not. Like, that was our thing with Conan when we were really
Yeah.
into it. It was like, do we pay for one and build?
No.
Or do we just deal with the rubber banding, make sure we explore together? Like,
Yeah.
we travel as a unit,
Yeah.
we build as a unit. Like, so you have travel time and build time and travel time and build time, and you just go with it.
You just go.
Yeah. Well, and then we looked at the price of the dedicated servers, and they were stupidly pricey.
Yeah. And we were like, it's not
It's like,
worth
yeah, it ain't
it.
worth it.
And we quit those games.
Especially
pretty
since,
quick.
we did.
Well, and that was the piece, was like, are we really into this? Nah, we'll
No.
see how much we really get into it. And again, can we get you into it and Tony into it? And, like,
Yes.
can we get enough people? Because, again, $100 a year split between...
Built a trebuchet.
I know you did.
Yeah.
I think.
But again, we built that without the need of
We all
a
died.
private server.
No.
No, who didn't die? Someone died.
What?
You died.
I got shot, but didn't you get
No,
like
I
hit
got
by
hit-
a rock or
I
something?
got hit by a rock
You
the
got hit
first
by-
time.
yeah.
Oh, that's what it was.
And then we
did
launched you because you were like, I'm standing on it.
that. That was really fun.
So yeah, that's that piece. I understand charging for private servers, and like Bethesda's like, we're giving you extra incentive. Like, here's money for the microtransactions in the game, and it's like there shouldn't be microtransactions in the game.
Especially if you're
Did
paying
Star
for a
Wars learn that
subscription and
Well, see, and even Blizzard is very tentative with World of Warcraft, where they're like, we've released a mount and it's $25 and you can have it. Okay, like their microtransactions or their extra their extra content that costs
The
real
pets
world
and-
money and pets and stuff was like,
Yeah.
one, not necessary to the game, and two, it's very few and far between where they're like, here is a thing we're releasing. Like, twice a year they're like, we built a new mount and it's going to cost you $25 because they know
yeah.
they're not making that much off of it.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
whereas these guys built it in going like, you want to look like this? You're going to have to pay us money. Instead
Yeah.
of like, oh, I don't know, a Fallout game where it's like, oh, just go kill people, scavenge their bodies, and dress like
Like that.
dress
yeah.
like that person. So either way, Bethesda, y'all dumb. But you know what? They'll make their money back. They'll release Skyrim on a toaster, and they'll make their money back.
The next
It's
fridge.
not their next game, though. Doom is their next game.
Skyrim's always their next game. That's how Bethesda works. No, don't you fret. Don't you fret. They'll announce Doom is delayed, but
Skyrim will
you
be
can
on
now
a new
play.
platform.
You can now play Skyrim in board game form.
Actually, I might prefer that over.
No.
No. It would still just be
Whoa,
Skyrim
whoa.
on a board.
Oh.
Yeah.
The Skyrim game, Elder Scrolls was good.
I can never get into
I
them.
never got into the. I just couldn't.
I did.
I like the world. I like the progression. Like, not the
It was
progression.
actually a Bethesda game I beat.
See, and I beat Fallout 4.
I don't know. Oh,
I beat Fallout
4.
3. I haven't done Fallout 4
No,
yet.
I beat Fallout 3 too. 3 and 4 I beat. Vegas I couldn't get into
Yeah, I
because
think
Vegas
3
was
I-
junk.
3 I beat. Yes.
Yeah. But that's the thing, like, and then Skyrim, I got out of the prison, and they're like, go on to your adventure. And
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
know.
oski
Oski
doski,
doski.
like
Yeah.
running through the forest, like, what can I kill? And it's like, you've leveled up. And I'm like, darn tootin' I have. Like, I get to a town, and they're like, want to join the Thieves Guild? And I'm like, darn tootin' I do. And then by the time I'm like, master of a thief guild and a vampire and
I
like
was the leader of everything.
right, like, but by the time I've become a leader of everything, I like go back to my quest log, and it's like, go find Jimmy, who's gonna like lead you to the king. And I'm like, oh yeah, I had something to like. I didn't quest until I had already done
Everything else.
all the other things, and by then I'm like, what's the point? I've killed 3 dragons already, like, you know,
Kill more.
yeah. So, I never got into the Skyrim games. I got into them, just not the actual storyline. Of them. Yeah, like.
So the forest.
I just never got into them.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Where's Timmy? Timmy.
Don't know.
Oh, Timmy. He was in that hole we climbed down finally.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't he dead?
I don't know. We never found Timmy.
No,
We
he's
found the
leader of
hole.
the cannibals.
Yeah, we found the hole, and then we're like, oh, this isn't base building,
Oh yeah.
so we left.
So we left. We never came back.
He's the leader of the cannibals.
Probably by
Probably.
now. By now, yeah. I mean, it's probably been 30 years in game. We have a mansion. We're living life. We have like a water system that brings us fresh water.
Exactly.
Like, Dad, what happened to you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who are
Timmy,
you?
we found
We
you.
found
And he's like, who you? Eat skin.
Trap. Oh, so he did it.
Some Marvel TV news, moving into some other stuff. It was announced last week. We talked about it. Kevin Feige's now in charge of all of Marvel entertainment stuff, so TV and movies, which again led us to what happens to Jeff Loeb, who was in charge of Marvel TV. He is now exiting Marvel television.
Yes.
So he has decided to take his own step away. And again, when this news broke, my big thing against Jeff Loeb is his comic book writing. He doesn't have a sense of or a care of, because he's a writer, not an artist.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't have a care of like what came prior to his writing. He gets told he's writing an Avengers comic, he writes it like an Avengers comic. Even if it was like his Ultimate comic, he did the Ultimates 3.
Yeah.
So before that, they had changed everybody's characters, because that was the whole point of the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah.
Change. It's supposed to be different.
Change. Different.
So Thor was an environmentalist who spoke regular English. Like, he was a Greenpeace activist, essentially, on boats trying to stop whaling.
Yeah.
Except he's Thor. So when those whaling boats were like, we're gonna like shoot at you or something, he's like, okay, bam, lightning, cause Thor. So like, not actually really a hero. He was sort of a hero, I guess, if you're into that kind of thing. But like, he was legitimately going after humans.
Yeah.
Because you're going after whales, who are these innocent creatures.
Fair game.
If you're fair game
You're
now
fair game.
to
Yeah.
Thor. So again, he's a really good activist. Cause
Well, did his job.
right, like, who's gonna mess with you now? Okay, we're gonna start, because if Thor's gonna step in. Captain America was more of this soldier as opposed to the, like, guy who stands up for American values. He was the he's the good soldier.
Yeah.
Jeff Loeb took over the comic, and Thor becomes the guy who speaks like Shakespearean again.
Oh gosh.
Tony goes back to being the drunken sexaholic
Philanthropist.
yeah, like that guy. Cap goes back to being like Cap from the 616 universe. Hawkeye still hot. Like, everybody went back to being who they were, and it's just like, Nick's confused as to what's going on, because this shouldn't be happening.
Right.
And then I go online and you're talking to people and they're like, oh, it's Jeff Loeb.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't care about what came before. He now cares about what's happening.
Showed him as TV shows.
And it could, and again, if you look at Daredevil, they took their time, they made a really good show, which was awesome. And again, Jeff Loeb was part of that, so we have to thank him for that.
Mm-hmm.
But because it took off so fast, and Jeff Loeb is a company man, if the company goes, hey, pump this stuff out so we can, and he does.
Yeah.
And again, we got some really good work out of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Some.
But again, because
First season, maybe.
it's Jeff
been
Loeb
pumping,
and
yeah.
Ike Perlmutter, Kevin Feige's not dealing with Ike Perlmutter for one thing, and instead of fighting them like Kevin did, because Kevin went, hey, it's either me or him, and Disney went, you're the one making the good decisions.
Billions of dollars.
Right.
More money.
Like, goodbye to Ike. He can just be in charge of Marvel Comics and like everything but the movies.
Yeah.
And so Jeff Loeb would listen to Ike. Which, again, where the downfall really is. Because it's not like Jeff Loeb's writing was bad.
Mm-hmm.
He just didn't... Like, the comics were good. He just didn't care about the continuity of it and that kind of thing. And again, if he's being told by someone up above to do something, he's just going to be like, okay, whereas Kevin was like, that's a dumb idea and we shouldn't do it. And then they'd get into fights over it.
Yeah.
So yes, again, Jeff Loeb was like, pump this stuff out. And it's like, okay, we can make Iron Fist with an untrained, actor in martial arts in the span of 3 months. Sounds good. Because again, when they talked to Charlie Cox, he got lots of time to work on the choreography and training on fighting and like all of that stuff. So like those hallway scenes are those hallway scenes because Drew Goddard and those showrunners had a mass amount of time to work on that stuff.
Yeah.
And then all of that thing. So Jeff Loeb is now completely out. He has exited the building.
Pretty much clears the way for Feige.
Which is now Feige is completely in charge, and again, Ike Perlmutter is even pushed further along
away
to just just the comics side of stuff.
Yeah.
And Kevin Feige, one of the first things he's now done is canceled Cloak and Dagger.
Not really a surprise though. We kind of predicted.
We thought about it. Like,
is everything being pulled into the Disney Plus area and everything, and you want to continue between the movies and the shows?
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. Kevin, I believe, at this point wants all the shows to connect to, like,
would not be
the MCU.
Runaways?
Runaways Hulu?
Yes?
Because that'd be a tough one for them, I think.
To cancel?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because it's on Hulu. They already own Hulu.
Yeah, but they own whatever channel Cloak and Dagger's on. It was the ABC Spark or whatever. It's a Disney-owned channel, yeah.
I thought it was like...
No, it's not a CW show.
That's what I thought. Seemed like
it's a Disney.
It felt like it.
It did, because that's what that channel... It's the Disney version of the CW. That's what that network is. ABC Spark is like their teenage drama channel sort of thing.
Well, I think it's just they're going to try and build everything.
Yeah, they're going to try and incorporate everything
into this now.
And that's the piece, is like if you cancel Cloak and Dagger, you can now bring Cloak and Dagger into the MCU. So give them a couple of years. And again, it wasn't like it was a hit show.
I think it was decent enough to get... I think it was on the second season.
Freeform, that's what, yes. Freeform was an ABC channel. ABC is owned by
Disney.
Oh, yeah, I know that.
And yeah, it used to be... It was ABC Spark, and then they changed the name to Freeform.
Oh, okay.
And then they,
Yeah.
So again, like the Disney Channel had Girl Meets World on it. The next step for that kind of show would have been to go to Freeform, where, because the kids were getting older and dealing with different stuff, it would have made that transition. Like Boy Meets World went from, a Disney Channel show to an ABC show.
Yeah.
Because it takes that step into like, oh, we're now discussing like, Corey and Topanga having sex. Like, that doesn't belong on the Disney Channel. We gotta move that to like, the like intermediary.
A more mature,
Yeah, so.
Yeah, they're really getting their...
Feige's getting his ducks in a row.
I was going to say something along those lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, with cancellations and stuff and...
Yep.
Yeah.
Loeb gone. Which I know you're happy about.
I just don't like... Again, I really don't like him as a writer. And I don't like people who follow... Like, and I get there's hierarchies in companies.
Yeah.
But if your boss is saying something... and you really don't think it's a great idea, like, you should be pushing...
Speak up.
You should be pushing back against it, and it clearly, like, it did. It worked for Feige. And again, maybe Jeff Loeb just...
It doesn't always work for people. I think
and it doesn't, and that's the piece, is, like, you have to be really confident in yourself and really confident in the product you're making. But again, Loeb could have gone after Iron Fist to Disney and been like, listen, he's the one telling me to pump this stuff out so we get, 4 shows, 5 shows a year.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
we got all of them. Yeah, we got 5. We got Daredevil, Punisher, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, and Luke Cage all in 1 year.
Yep.
That's crazy.
And again, he can go to Disney and be like, listen, just like he was doing with the Disney movies, like he's trying to bring quality down in terms of, and getting rid of writing.
Yeah.
Like, I can't be working for this guy and keep listening to him, help me out. And Disney's either going to say yes or no.
No.
Listen to your boss.
Or listen to your boss. But really, like, it's one of those things, like, Kevin already complained about him.
Mm.
Yeah. If
So,
two people
like, that
complain-
step's already been taken where somebody's been like, when he has creative control, our quality of product goes down.
Yeah.
So if the next person goes like, listen, the quality of our product is going really far down because of the decisions that this guy is making. I need him to make less decisions,
Yeah.
And now he is. Like, Perlmutter is now out of the Disney TV or the Marvel TV stuff.
Yeah.
So Kevin
He's
Feige's,
like,
because Kevin Feige's not going to work with him again.
No, I don't think so.
He wouldn't.
No,
He wouldn't have taken over that position if Perlmutter was still there. So it's essentially like, good day.
Good day.
Yeah.
There's the door.
Yeah.
Which is kind of where he still pulls inspiration from
The comics.
Ike's work. So
Well, and again, I think the creative comic book people have more creative.
in a way, he would
Influence.
still be working with him,
Yeah, slightly.
just not directly, I guess.
It's directly with him. Like, so Iron Man 3, for instance. The
Yeah.
villain was supposed to be the scientist lady.
Which, the one that died.
The one that was making, like, the regenerative thing at the so the beginning of the movie, remember he's sleeping with that chick?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was supposed to be the
Oh.
main villain.
Okay.
Ike steps in and goes, "We can't have a female as a villain. Are you insane? No one will believe that." So he stepped in and made them change it to... So they had to rewrite the entire movie halfway through making the movie. And thank God you had the people working on the movie that you had working on that movie,
Yeah.
because they made it work.
Yeah.
Now, again, people look at Iron Man 3 and go, was it like,
It's not up there.
it's not up there in terms of quality because, again, this idiot steps in at the wrong time making stupid decisions when decisions are already made, because I think that would have made a really cool story.
Depends which way they went with it.
Right.
I never have a problem with the villain. It's just
Yep.
the story. behind
Story,
it.
yeah.
But again, they had to,
Would have still dealt with the president and
I don't know.
everything. Like, you don't-
So that's the
don't know.
piece, is like, you have this guy who steps in and makes something mediocre. Thor Dark World, same thing.
Yeah.
Steps in, makes decisions, like, all of that stuff. And then Kevin's pushing back, going, no, like, we can have these characters do these things. And the first movie we get that was completely Kevin Feige was Ragnarok.
Was it
Yep.
that late into the game?
Yep, because Ike still had like little pieces going all the way
Going in
through
there.
to like through Ultron and that kind of stuff. Which is why, again, Joss Whedon left. Which is why Robert Downey Jr.
Was Ike?
wasn't going to come back. Yep.
Yeah.
Which is why Chris Evans, after a certain time, was like, "Well, my contract's
Yeah.
up, so I guess I'm like
Yeah.
I guess I'm
Ready
done,"
to
because
go.
all of them were having a really bad time working for this guy.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with Kevin. It had everything to do with... So, the big news out of all of this is, Kevin being in charge really makes
Everything.
everything cohesive. It makes for a positive work environment, apparently,
Yes.
because everybody really loves working with him with stuff.
Hopefully he doesn't get drunk with power.
I don't think so.
I don't
He's
feel
got a
that.
lot of responsibility put onto him,
I know.
and it could stress him out, maybe.
And I don't, but see, if you listen to the way the directors talk about him, like he leaves them to do their own thing and opens the door and goes, "Guys, like, we just got the go-ahead to use, like, Spider-Man." Huh? And the directors are like, "Yeah," and the writers are like, "Yeah, we can make
We can do this.
yeah,
We can do this.
Cool. Door closed. So his job is really keeping everything flowing. It's not necessarily like he doesn't have to come up with the ideas. He doesn't have he's
Yeah.
leaving the creative people to do that, and essentially just being like, "Okay, you guys are using like Ghost Rider, so no Ghost Rider TV show." Like pulls the pin on that one, moves the pin over, and like attaches it to God knows Guardians of the Galaxy. Like
That's like odd.
he's in
Oh,
it
yeah.
in the comics. That's where it
Yeah,
goes.
but that's
I'm just
great
saying.
now.
I'm just saying it would be a dumb tie-in in the movies, but that would be where
Blade. We had this discussion last week.
I know, but that's the piece is like, and Kevin's board has Blade on it, and there's another cord from Blade going to something else now.
Something
Like
else, yeah.
that's his job, is being
Coordinating all these.
that step ahead and coordinating everybody.
Yeah.
So really, like he just
Marvel
has,
Knights, Marvel Knights.
he just has more characters to play with now and more more ways of getting his product out. So it's not just we have to make big theatrical releases anymore. We can work on the streaming services now to release content.
If only we can get the whole Spider-Verse in.
Yeah, well,
If only.
if only. But that's the piece, is like he does control all of that, which makes it. So yeah, I'm not really worried about his stress level because it's now just.
That's the only thing I'd be concerned with because there's a lot on a plate now.
And I don't think he would have taken it if that
But a
weren't
lot.
that piece.
Unless he has people under him.
Of course he does.
Like his,
And he's already said that too. When everybody gives him all this praise, he's like, guys, it's not just me. Like, yes, I'm in charge, but he's like, we're a team.
like there's him, and then you have a guy for movies, and you have a separate guy for TV, and then it just goes down the pyramid.
And as long as that pyramid doesn't get to the point where these guys can't get in touch with Feige.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's where breakdown starts to happen, is when there's too many things happening. Like, these people still have to be able to communicate with him.
Yeah.
In some way, shape. Like, and again, not moving up the ladder. Because by the time it gets to him, they're like, okay, so they want Ghost Rider riding a giant centipede and fighting giant robots in space. And it's like, huh? And
It's
goes
like a
down
big
to
game of
talk to them.
telephone.
And yeah, they're like, you know, they're talking about something completely different. And
Yeah.
it's like a game of telephone going all the way up.
Mm-hmm.
I think Feige, and that's the way he works, is very much with the creative teams.
Yeah.
So as long as it's like, hey, you're point man on this project, the Russos, you're point man on Avengers. Like, you're my point. So if you guys have a question, you come to me, you ask the question, and we move from there.
Yeah. It's like his generals.
Essentially, yeah. So, either way, I'm glad. I'm more glad that Feige's in charge of all of it, and that decisions are going to be made for quality.
Yeah.
Because that's the piece, is like, and we saw it with Iron Fist. Like, there was no quality.
The second season was better, apparently.
Well, that's because people complained so hard that they knew they had to at
Luke
least
step
try
out.
and
Luke
step
Cage
it.
got praised for the first season, but then went downhill on the second.
Right. So
So which one is still? Are they all canceled?
They're
now?
done.
They're all-
yeah.
they're all done.
yeah, they're all done. They're all
Jessica
canceled,
Jones
they're
is the
all-
last one, right?
Nope.
Yes.
Punisher was the last one.
Oh, Punisher was the last one.
Punisher.
Yes.
Thought
Well, I
Jessica-
think Jessica Jones played the last season.
Yeah.
But Punisher, they both got canceled around the same time.
Oh yeah, no, they did.
Yeah.
It was that slow, like, you know.
There's nothing wrong with
wait till
Punisher.
wait till the show comes out. Yeah, Punisher was good.
Yeah.
Even Jessica Jones was.
Jessica Jones was pretty well. Like, again, the first season was really, really good, and I never saw.
You should probably watch the second.
I should really watch the other ones. Punisher is excluded from the deal with Netflix.
Huh? So it's still on Netflix?
I don't
No, they
understand.
got canceled.
Yeah,
No.
they had to
Still got
cancel it.
canceled.
They signed a different contract for Punisher.
Yeah.
If Marvel and Disney wanted to do something with current Punisher, they could do it.
Oh, that one.
Oh, so because it's a different contract, I'm assuming, because they did have to sign another contract for
Punisher.
So yeah.
Yeah.
There you go, Marvel TV news.
Yeah.
Last but not least, this one just tickled my fancy. Just
This
a
one
little
we're
bit.
just gonna have a little fun with.
Yeah. So, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker movie is now the highest grossing R-rated film.
I do love what Ryan Reynolds did.
Yes.
I didn't see it.
Okay, so when you get a highest grossing film,
Yeah.
you always, like, the creator of the last movie that was up top kind of sends you a congratulations.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so, and they've been doing it for years, and I mean, James Cameron's been at the top so long, like, he finally did have to send us something for Endgame.
Right.
But, like, you know, when Jaws was up top and Jaws got dethroned, like, there's someone fishing Jaws out of the water and that kind of,
Yeah.
you know, that kind of thing. So this one for highest grossing R-rated film,
Oh no.
Ryan Reynolds, because Deadpool 2 was up there,
Yeah.
had to, like, he's like, well, I'll send an R-rated version. So it's the Joker poster with him at the top of the stairs ready to dance.
Yeah.
And it was what?
You mother.
Yeah, you mother effer. And then there's a little heart, and then there's all, like, the list of the rest of the movie.
Of
So,
the
like,
movies.
Deadpool 2 and, like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, and this tweet was this is R-rated version of
of the
congratulating you.
congratulating you. And it's like, this is cute.
Oh, that's good.
So yeah, no, it was super cute, and it was really lovely and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So yes, the Joker highest rated R-rated film.
Yes.
Jared Leto is now in the news
Again.
because now what happens to his Joker? And essentially, he is refusing to be the Joker again because he feels like he should have been contacted instead of Joaquin Phoenix to do this Joker film. Because how dare they do a solo Joker movie that doesn't involve his Joker?
Leto is so full of himself.
He's also really pissed because most of his scenes got cut from Suicide Squad, which is why people think he's such a bad Joker.
Yeah.
I would have to see it. I'd be willing to see the deleted scenes.
I would be willing to see the deleted scenes, but based off of what I got, that was not a good Joker.
And you heard about all the things he did off screen.
Well, because he's method, man. He's a method actor.
That part. So is Joaquin.
stupid.
He never did that.
Joaquin got skinny.
Yeah, but he's a method actor.
I know.
All the people who seem to play the Joker are method actors.
Yeah, very
Except
much.
for Jack.
Because Jack just played himself.
That wasn't a problem.
That wasn't an issue for him. But like Joaquin Phoenix, if you there's actually there's a documentary that's been out for a really long time now, I guess, about a guy who has in the movie the Joker has a condition that causes the laughter.
Yeah.
Which is not really it's not a spoiler or anything. They throw that out right at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
But he has a condition. There's a guy in real life who there's a documentary around it who has that condition.
Yeah.
Where he laughs so much like he starts to choke and it hurts and like all of this stuff, and they played it on the radio the one day. The laugh from this documentary is almost identical to what Joaquin Phoenix was doing in the movie. So Joaquin Phoenix, like obviously the creators
Did his
of this movie,
research.
they did the research into this and went like, oh, there is this thing that will cause like let's use that. And Joaquin Phoenix obviously like watched this and went like, okay, because like even the like
where he
in the
starts
middle
to,
where he starts to kind of choke sounds exactly like this dude, and you're just like, way to be Joaquin. Like, you know, that's like because he did. It was one heck of a performance.
Yeah.
Yes.
As opposed to Leto's like, you know, lying in a circle of guns, which doesn't.
I don't know.
Tattooing damaged on his head.
Yeah, like that's just not. And again, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, I don't feel is exactly the Joker.
Nope. But
Which we can talk about in the post-credit show.
show.
But his performance was good as an actor. Leto looked like that was just stupid.
Yeah.
That whole thing was just stupid. And again, I get like the Circle of Guns is a creative choice by the directors and this kind of thing, but you know, if you're sitting there going, my performance was great, you're like,
Was it though?
Was it really?
He wasn't even on a press tour.
Well, why would you take a like psychopath like that on press with you on a tour?
Yeah.
He probably refused to do it because he's Jared Leto.
Yeah.
And again, where Joaquin Phoenix is different than that. Joaquin will do like the press tours and be wonky on press tours, but I think he's just because they get bored of press tours for one thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So might as well go stupid on them.
Yeah.
Whereas like Leto, I'm assuming just the way he's behaving now, probably went, I don't have to go.
Yeah.
My performance speaks for itself.
Or is that nobody liked him?
Or
for
nobody
what he
liked him
did?
enough, so they didn't want to take them with them.
Yeah.
For what he did.
Yeah.
Like I said, Joaquin's a method person too.
Yes.
He didn't do any of this stuff to his
crazy.
co-stars.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
No.
Heath Ledger
there's-
did like was really nice to his cast members.
Sure.
Even though he did some method acting, but
Yeah.
unfortunately took him into
Yeah.
a dark place.
Yeah.
That's why.
But then those are pre-existing
Yes. Yeah.
that end up coming to the surface due to
Yeah.
all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, like I watched a Hot Ones interview with Ant-Man.
Paul Rudd.
Thank you.
God, yeah.
And like he did, the guy who was interviewing goes like, do you get kind of tired of telling the same stories over and over again? And he's like, that's why I agreed to do this show is because it's so different and I can just talk.
Yeah.
And he's like, because
And
yeah,
have
you
fun
go
with
on
it.
to, you know, late night talk shows and like, he's like, I honestly don't know why I got into acting anymore, but the story I tell is this.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know if it's because I watched Charlie Chaplin as a kid and he inspired me to become an actor, but that's what I tell people now because I said it so much.
many times.
It's
Yeah.
now my truth.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's tough. Which is why, like, for the press tour stuff, you know, I think Joaquin Phoenix, whenever he shows up and is always a little bit wonky, that's why, is because he's like, I might as well have fun with this. 'Cause
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
So it's not even the method piece of it all. It's legitimately just,
Yeah.
you know. And again, he didn't have to get skinny for the movie.
No.
It wasn't a necessary thing to do. It didn't really, like, you know. add to things.
Yeah.
They could have digitally put in some stuff to, because again, he was supposed to show that he was, not taking the greatest care of himself, and he didn't have the money.
He
to kinda keep
didn't have the
feeding himself.
greatest lifestyle.
Right, like his lifestyle wasn't great, so obviously, like, there was some slight starvation going on due to, the way he looked, sort of thing. But it's like you can digitally add some of that stuff in if you need to. But he went forward and he put forward that performance and clearly had a lot to say. And again, putting that research into where the laughter comes from, as opposed to Leto, who like pees in people's coffee or whatever, because it's like that's what the Joker would do, and it's like, no, it's not what the
that's
Joker
not what the
would do.
Joker would do.
No, Christian Bale's a jerk.
Yeah, Christian Bale's a jerk. He's been a jerk on several different movies and films.
Yeah, that one's not a.
I don't think that's a method.
No, Heath Ledger was a decent dude.
Yeah.
Christian Bale's a dick.
Yeah.
But
We'll still go see his stuff.
Yeah, he is a good actor. It's just he's kind of an asshole.
I don't know if I'm drawn by Christian Bale. It's usually the person. But it's usually the persons that it's associated.
Yeah.
But him being a dick does not stop you from going to go see that movie.
Not necessarily until I know that he's done something completely outrageous.
Yeah.
Like on Terminator, he just got mad at a guy for stepping into a light or walking.
Yeah, walking
across
into the camera's view.
Yeah,
and you don't know that we don't know the backstory to it either.
No, but it's really funny to listen to.
Well, yeah.
But either way, like that's the piece.
Leto's a tantrum.
Leto's mad and throwing a tantrum because like he should have been approached, and I'm like, but your performance was so bad. Why would they even?
You
know
were
to
ranked
approach
as
you?
probably the worst
Joker.
Yeah, I don't.
You are.
In my opinion, too, I don't know any movie with Leto in it that I think he is an
Did you
amazing
see
actor.
Lord of War?
Yes, and I don't think he brought I still think Nick Cage
That
was
Nick
big
Cage's
there.
Movie.
Like Jared Leto didn't really contribute much other than being the younger brother who was high on drugs all the time.
So Jared Leto.
Jared Leto. Exactly.
I'm trying to think what else he's been in. That's bad.
See, it's funny
That's
Prove
with the
a bad
me
Yes.
wrong. Prove me wrong.
It's funny with the
I'm
method.
trying.
It's funny with the method acting piece too because, like Dustin Hoffman did it the one time in one of his movies, and I forgot which one it was, but he was supposed to be up for a really long time in the movie. Like
Rain
him and
Man.
was it Rain Man?
For sure.
Oh.
No, he wasn't because it wasn't Tom Cruise he was acting with. It was someone else. But he was supposed to have been up for this stupidly long amount of time, and maybe he was with Pacino, like one of the those guys.
Maybe.
And he was supposed to be up for a really long time, so he didn't sleep. Like he went on kind of a bender the night before, so that when he showed up, he would,
he was super
and
tired.
whoever he was acting with was like, "What the hell's wrong with you?" And he's like, "Well, I'm supposed to be like, we're supposed to be tired." So, and he's like, "You're an actor. Act like it."
Act like you're tired.
And since then, Dustin Hoffman has just showed up and acted.
Acted, yeah.
Because that's the piece is like, it doesn't make for better movies. Will Smith is a method actor.
Is he?
Yep.
Really?
Apparently, he becomes whoever that character is during that time.
Oh.
And so he can become a complete jerk around his house because, like, when he played Muhammad Ali, he became, like,
Muhammad
the
Ali.
arrogant, self-absorbed Muhammad Ali
Or
around
Hancock.
his house.
Awesome to hang around that house during Bad Boys.
Yeah.
So-
Jeez.
But, like, that's the piece is, like, and obviously it doesn't always work because Gemini Man is now, like, a huge, massive flop for the year.
But
I don't.
I think I would blame that on him.
And not necessarily blaming it on him.
I am blaming it on the
But again,
director.
After Earth.
Once again, not him though.
At some
That
point,
wasn't him.
when a bunch of your movies aren't
He chose
making
to be
money
those
and
movies.
yeah, you're the one choosing to be in those films. Like,
They're willing to pay you that money.
and I also understand that piece, but then be
At one point, he was the highest paid guy.
he was.
He was.
At one point.
And then he started doing way more of the like after
Pursuit for Happiness.
After Pursuit of Happiness, things started going downhill.
Was he the one that did the concussion one?
Yes. Because that did so well in theaters.
I liked that movie. I know it did do well. It did do well.
Oh, I know, because no NFL fan
Exactly,
is going to see
exactly.
it.
The NFL shut that movie down.
I know. I get that piece, but again, and kudos to him for choosing to do that film.
Yeah.
But again, it's one of those like he's not really making bank anymore.
No, yeah, he's not. Yeah, he's not growing his name.
Yeah.
Well, if you're talking Aladdin 2, then obviously he's doing something right.
Aladdin did really well, but again,
They're making it
that,
Aladdin
They're
2.
talking about it.
Again, is that well? They did 3 of the animated movies,
Yeah,
but
like,
again,
that's
is
the one,
that just the Disney machine
Oh,
doing
yeah.
its job? Is that him?
No.
Is that...
No, because people don't go see Disney movies if they're bad.
Okay.
They don't.
They do right now.
What's bad out? That's Disney.
Aladdin?
Out right now.
Right now?
Yeah.
I don't
What's-
know. People are
what's-
going to go
what's
see
out for-
Star Wars.
It's not bad. That's
A lot of
actually
people
really
think
good.
it's bad, but that's the piece is like... And that's
I don't
that's
think
even
it's,
the
I don't
thing.
think it's a Disney.
But a lot of people, even with Lion King, didn't. It was like, oh, it's a great CGI fest, but the story's not 100%. Beauty and the Beast, same thing, where it's like, oh, they're just retelling the same story. I like Beauty
They
and the
did
Beast
Beauty and the
too.
Beast well.
I like Beauty and the Beast, but that's the same thing where a lot of people complained about it. It still made mad bank. Because it's like, one, it's got the
But
name
if
attached
he
to
did
it.
such a bad job, they wouldn't bring him back.
And again, that depends on the creative team. And again, not like he did a bad job in
I
that
don't know. I've
movie.
never seen it.
He didn't do a bad job
I
in that
still haven't
movie.
seen it either.
But like he didn't do a bad job in After Earth. He did what he was supposed to do.
He did what he
that's
was
why I say
told.
It's more of a director thing.
I get that, but he's the one. He is.
And M. Night Shyamalan was not at his peak at the point of.
M. Night
after-
Shyamalan hasn't been at his peak since Avatar. So you know,
Split
or
was good.
what was it called?
Did you just say?
No, the Avatar movie. You know, the one with the little
Avatar,
kid.
yeah.
That is his trough. That
No,
is his trough.
that
That is not his
that's
peak.
like peak
Oh
Shyamalan.
dear lord.
Yeah.
The Last Airbender.
I know
That's
what you're talking about.
that's peak Shyamalan.
Ignore that. We're gonna.
Yeah, I'm ignoring this one for the next little bit.
Tony, I need you here.
No, but Split was good. And that was his.
Split, yeah, like
Split was, I think Split was
The
really
Unbreakable
his
franchise.
Unbreakable
Apparently
franchise.
Glass wasn't overly great.
I did. It was
But
it was
again,
okay.
I still haven't seen it.
As an
It was
actor,
alright.
Will Smith, and being an actor with Will Smith kind of money, you can be picking and choosing who and what you're doing.
Yeah.
Again, Tom Hanks gets to pick which movies
But
he
I
does.
think I said it to Tony.
Yeah.
Where I'm talking about Gemini Man.
Yes.
And it's like it looks like an interesting movie.
Sure.
But then I find out who's directing it, and it's.
Yes.
I don't want to go see it because of
Yeah.
this director.
I didn't like the
Not
director
because
either.
of Will
Correct.
Smith. Because I know the director.
Yeah.
And his history.
The Hulk.
Pretty much. That's
Yeah.
what I'm going with. I think. Well, and the Last Night or whatever.
He did Mission Impossible
No.
2 as well.
I liked Mission Impossible.
I know.
See, Ang Lee's a 50-50
He's-
director.
But
If he decides to get
what was that
artsy,
movie
Yeah,
straight?
yeah.
That night, medieval movies. He has a series of them. The first one was Jason Statham, and the next one was Dolph Lundgren.
Oh, the Dungeon Siege movies or whatever?
Yes.
They had Dungeon Siege movies?
Yeah, they were just as bad as...
Terrible.
that,
I
yeah.
saw the first one, and I
Oh,
refused
dear
to see
Lord.
the next three.
The Happening is the low point for Tony. So look, Last Airbender's above The Happening.
No, Tony! Tony!
Yeah, like it's one of those things where...
Yeah.
And yes, it depends on directors, but also...
That's what I mean. Just saying Gemini Man. No, it's people with Ang Lee.
I get that.
I
Yeah.
have a feeling.
But again,
more
even
than Will
with-
Smith.
But
Yes,
and that's the
yeah.
pieces, though, is that, like, I haven't seen a very good Will Smith movie in a really long time that I've enjoyed. So, like, if Tom Hanks is in a movie with a director, like, if he's in an Ang Lee movie, I'm probably seeing it because I really like Tom Hanks. And Tom Hanks
I still will see.
has not really let me down.
No, yeah.
I think Ang Lee is just gotten to me.
And I understand that
He's
piece
just
too,
dead to
but
you.
there's sometimes an actor that gets into a movie with a director like that, and you're like, oh, I hate the director, but I really
like the
actor.
actor.
But I liked Mission Impossible too.
But Ang Lee, and then you're like, oh man, it's Ang Lee, and you're like Will Smith, and you're like, he's been as of late.
But even the concept of the movie was good.
Concept's great, but again, if Robert Downey Jr.'s in it instead of Will Smith, I am more inclined to see it because Robert Downey Jr. can save a bad movie.
Can you though?
I still like Iron Man 3.
Okay, but Iron Man 3's redeeming quality was the short.
I get
came
that
after
piece.
it. That is the.
I still liked the movie, even though like that piece after. I still enjoyed that film.
It was okay.
Right.
On the lower end of okay. It's
Okay,
not
but
my
still,
highest rated.
not saying highest. Still would see it and watch it again.
Well, yeah, because you have to.
You're watching all of them.
Timeline. have to.
I skip the Incredible Hulk.
That movie wasn't bad.
Thank you.
I skip it.
I like that movie.
don't skip
I
any
don't
of them.
see. That's a movie where like I don't like the actor, but I still went to see the movie.
Right.
I like the actor.
But, so
I don't like Edward Norton.
But again, that's one of those pieces where it's just like if the actor is the actor, you can kind of go like, the director.
Yeah.
And again, same with the director. You're like, oh, I really like that director, but Denzel Washington's in it, so like,
Oh yeah.
you know,
Don't even go
maybe I'll go see it because I like that director.
If the movie looks intriguing, I don't care who's in it.
Yeah, but you haven't
Usually.
seen Gemini Man. See, there's always a like.
There's always something.
Or
that's-
again, the story's intriguing, and I don't know anybody in the movie. I'm like, I will give this a shot.
Oh, check this out.
Yeah,
My problem is buying.
and see, I'm not because I don't. Yeah,
I don't-
I'm not gonna
yeah.
buy them. I'll rent them or whatever before
Or
I.
just take someone's digital code.
Or
that
take
they
digital
put
codes and watch them. Yeah,
And
because
say
that's how I
thank
made
you.
it halfway through.
I say thank you.
Yeah, there's always. Yeah. So yeah, like that's the piece is with Leto going back to all of this. Like if Leto would have been in this very serious Joker movie.
Yeah, I don't know if I.
One,
But after the performance he did in Suicide Squad, you'd wonder what's going on.
Well, one, it wouldn't be the same movie because you have to now tie that Joker in with this one.
Which
Yeah.
didn't make sense based on the time period.
Right.
Right.
Like none of it would have made sense. So the Joker movie itself would have had to have been completely different.
Yeah.
Leto would have been pissed off about it anyways because it's not the same Joker, and they probably would have been doing things to change, his character.
Yeah.
Like either way, he's gonna be mad.
Yeah.
So in other words, Leto's
So
never gonna be the
bad-mouthing method
Joker.
actors here.
It's not bad mouthing. It's just not a process I find.
I don't. Yeah.
I don't think it.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Does he method act or does he
Yes.
just really get into it, like
I think he
the
does
makeup
method
and
act.
process? And
He's
again,
only been in like 8 movies. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
Didn't he retire too?
yeah.
No, he's
I thought he said
very
he's
picky
done.
with his movies.
Oh.
He's only done like 8.
Oh, okay.
See, but I enjoy actors that also do that. And again, not everybody has the bank to be like. Not
Yes.
everybody is Tom Hanks or Daniel Day-Lewis.
But he doesn't have that much bank because his movies are good, but they're not.
Critically acclaimed
Marvel.
movies though will get
Yeah.
like
he is a
will
well-known
get paid
name.
well to be in those
though.
movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not that like
People know his name.
like Robert Downey Jr. made mass bank because he signed for box office revenue. Like box office money. Daniel Day-Lewis, they'll just be like, we'll pay you, $100,000 billion to be in our film because you're Daniel Day-Lewis. And he's
Yeah.
like,
Okay.
Same with Tom
If he
Hanks.
chooses.
If
If
he
he
chooses.
chooses.
But that's the piece, is you can offer him the world, and if he's like, I don't like the script, he's not in it. Tom Hanks does the exact same thing
Yeah.
for his flicks. Like, if he doesn't want to do it, he just says no.
Yeah.
If he looks at a script and goes, this is going to be a horrible
He's just
film.
He's just being all of our childhood characters right now. That's all he's being.
I know, and I love this one because I do want to see the Mr. Rogers movie, but at the same time, like Saving Mr. Banks, where he played Walt Disney, he was just Tom
He was
Hanks
just Tom Hanks.
as Walt did. Like, it's not like he didn't really embody Walt Disney.
Yeah.
Like
I can see what you mean.
Daniel Day-Lewis, when he gets into a character,
Oh, yeah.
you don't know it's Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah.
Like, it is a transformation.
Oh yeah.
Tom Hanks is like, I'm playing Disney. And the only reason you know he's playing Disney is because one, the commercials tell you, and two, people keep calling him Mr. Disney
Yeah.
or Walt.
Yeah.
It's going to be the same thing with Mr.
With
Rogers.
Mr.
is People are
Rogers.
going to call him Mr. Rogers, but he's still just going to be Tom,
Tom
Hanks,
Hanks.
which I'm cool with because I love Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
And I just, like, that's, in a Tom Hanks movie, you have to accept that you're going to watch Tom Hanks do something.
Yes.
Although, what's that one where he lives in the airport?
Terminal.
He was less Tom Hanks.
He was less Tom
Hanks.
Hanksy that,
Yeah,
yes.
'cause he had a-
He had the accent.
That's probably one of my favorite Tom Hanks movies. I just love that movie.
See, and I hate Catherine Zeta-Jones, but I
I
like
know.
that movie.
I don't like Catherine Zeta-Jones, but I do like Tom Hanks. And
That's like the Mexican. I like Julia Roberts in that film, but I think
I
it's
don't think I've
because
seen that
everybody
movie.
else around her is James Gandolfini and Brad Pitt.
oh,
It's a stellar flick,
I should.
and they're it's
You have a list, man.
they're
I
trying to
always have
sell
a
this
list,
gun,
yeah.
which is the Mexican. It's this really cool gun, and Julia Roberts is essentially like Brad Pitt's girlfriend or wife who gets dragged into this entire
Oh.
venture
yeah.
for no real point, but she ends up getting kidnapped by the gay mobster played by James Gandolfini, and they form this weird relation. Like it's
Oh yeah.
it's Stockholm syndrome almost, except James Gandolfini's actually kind of a nice guy, but he has to do these.
He has
like,
to do
that's,
these
That's the
things.
life he lives, sort of
Yeah.
thing. And you're just like, Bye, Tony. I'm not sure when you sent that, but oh, you just sent it. Bye.
Bye.
So yeah, like it's one of those movies where I think the acting around Julia
Julia
Roberts
Roberts improved
solved
that.
things. Even her in the Ocean's movies isn't bad.
No, I like them.
Yep.
I like George Clooney.
And George Clooney. Like, but again,
Julia Roberts.
But again, George Clooney plays George Clooney.
Plays George. Yeah, he is a George Clooney.
Yeah.
George.
He's a stellar dude too. Him and his family. They're
He's a very
like,
nice
holy
person.
philanthropy,
Really,
man.
He's retired.
George Clooney. He doesn't. But he's like he goes to like African
Africa.
villages
Yeah.
and like
He's too busy with that.
does stuff and gets like held up at gunpoint
Yeah.
because he's bringing stuff to these countries and places, and I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
Batman? Like, that, if you watch the David Letterman show on Netflix
Yes.
with George Clooney, he's like, we got stopped by these people with guns, and they're like, Batman, and you're only sitting there going, God, I hope you liked it. Like,
Yeah.
like I'm sorry. So, yeah. Either way, Jared Leto,
Jared
mad, and will
Leto.
never play the Joker again.
No respect for you, Leto.
Oh no!
I'm sorry, man.
We are so disappointed.
Not sorry.
If you want to know our thoughts on the Joker, stay tuned for the post-credit show. It's just coming up in about 5 minutes' time. While you're waiting, you can check out BarrelRollNews.com, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and share with all your friends. We'll be back in 5,
Bye.
4, 3.
2.
1.